I'm Trish Toby with WARC reporting to you live from Westchester, New York, where there appears to be some sort of mutant menace on the loose.
Hey, everybody, I'm Pat Reber.
And I'm Matt Allcamp.
And say it with us, Daniel.
Welcome
to Mutant
Menace.
Yes, hell yeah, dude, we got it.
Pat!
Yes, Matt.
We are back with the X-Men this week!
Oh my god, finally. It has been... So, I've missed the X-Men, but also we have exclusively been seeing them in bad comics for consecutive weeks.
I know, it's almost like I forget why I like the X-Men. I was reading this week's... I don't know how you felt, but I was reading this week's comics and just thinking like, oh, these guys are good. This is good. These comics are good.
Yo, I think... obviously, relatively, they're very good.
Right.
But I think even just compared to the X-Men comics we've been reading, there's nothing exceptionally special about these story-wise, but writing-wise, they are top-notch.
Yeah, they're all like solo. Everything that we are reading today is kind of like a self-contained little story.
Yeah.
With like hints at broader stuff, but like it's all about the consequences of Secret Wars.
Right.
Is the way it feels. It is like they get back. We'll talk about the metaphor as we get through it. Like, I think there's a strong metaphor, but I think it is basically Chris Claremont saying, here's how you fucked up all my stories.
Yeah. Please look at what I've had to do because of you.
I think even because the dragon thing, and we'll get to it, is so bizarre, it can only be.
And it's the first thing to happen after Secret Wars.
Yeah. So maybe here is where we should go over just like the quick, where did we leave these motherfuckers?
Yeah, what were the X-Men even doing? The last time we talked to them.
Here's the biggest thing I remember from the last time we talked to the X-Men. They all died.
Oh, right. It was like Kitty fell from a tall building. Colossus got turned into a statue.
Yeah.
Somebody was stabbed.
Did somebody else die?
Probably.
I remember, there was a lot of interpersonal drama that was like, it was still shaking out of the Paul Smith stuff, right? So Kitty was still whining about Storm.
Right. So, yes. But we also, if you remember, in a New Mutants episode, read exactly one issue of the X-Men where they tie that up.
They made it. They made up. She was like, you know what? It's okay that your hair is different. And Storm is like,
I don't hate you for that anymore.
And Storm is like, that's all I wanted you to say. But Colossus was getting all weird because Kitty made friends with Doug Ramsey.
Yes, right. And then, as we know, he went to Secret Wars, found a...
Doug Ramsey did?
Yeah, just by accident. There's a Doug Ramsey solo series where he's just walking around Battle World.
Doug Ramsey and Stevie Hunter. Stevie Hunter's driving Doug Ramsey home from a dancing lesson. They get transported to Battle World. Oh, and they have to have a dance-off, a big dance competition.
Ooh.
The Beyonder brings all the dancers and dance teachers to Dance World.
All the best dancers and dance teachers to face off against each other.
Yeah, because he wants to figure out why dancers dance, and this is the only way he can figure it out.
We're getting into Moon Knight territory here.
Yeah, he was like, damn it, I just missed that guy.
What else? Xavier, as again, through the course of Secret Wars, this goes kind of back and forth, but in the X-Men main canon, Xavier can walk again.
And he can finally just like walk, right? Because for a year, it was like he could technically walk, but he just won't.
Right. And now he can shoot hoops.
No, he plays basketball. Rogue is an official X-Man, and she even had her like come to Jesus moment, right? Where it was like, all right, like, oh, Mystique is here to save you, and she's pulling you out, and she was like, no, Mystique, I want to be here.
Yeah. Essentially, you can get out of this, or you have your out if you want it. And she didn't take it. She stayed with the X-Men.
But she did let Mystique go and let Mystique hold Xavier hostage so that Brotherhood could which we didn't talk about this in that episode. Why did the police say okay?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So what happened, in case you guys don't remember, is Mystique went to the mansion and held Xavier at gunpoint, and she was like, "You give me my daughter."
While she had the rest of the Brotherhood attack New York City so that the X-Men would be there dealing with that at the time.
Right. And Rogue was like, no, dude, I'm here on my own volition. Fuck off. And then there was like a tearful, like they cried or whatever. And then a hologram of Mystique appeared in New York and was like, I have your precious mentor at gunpoint, and if you don't let my Brotherhood go, I shoot him. And the X-Men are like, fuck, I guess we got to let all the Brotherhood go. And I guess the police were like, well, if they say so.
She's got you, X-Men. Sorry. That is interesting. And you mentioned it on the episode, but I had always just assumed this was like a continuity error where Rogue is there, but somehow Mystique still has enough leverage to weasel out of the consequences.
But clearly, I think it's intentional. Like, no, Rogue let that happen, and we're just supposed to infer that. So, all right, then they all go to Secret Wars. While Kitty goes off with the New Mutants. Well, Kitty goes off with Doug Ramsey to the Massachusetts Academy. And then, surprise, surprise, fucking the White Queen is there and takes her hostage. And then the New Mutants have to go save her. But the X-Men are in Secret Wars, and what happens with the X-Men while they're there?
I think there's a few details to take away. Colossus found the love of his life and then lost her. She died.
He never had a single conversation.
He was never able to speak to. Yeah, neither of them spoke the same language, nor were they the same species.
Exactly.
They did bone though, so I think that's important for context. Colossus, boots on, did the deed.
Lockheed fell in love also with a chippy. So Lockheed falls in love with another dragon who Logan calls a chippy. Why did Jim Stupid have two different characters call female characters
refer to women as chippies?
Chippies.
Yeah. Presumably because that's a term he uses in his everyday life.
Yeah, probably.
Because it wasn't like two of the same type using it. It was Johnny Storm and Wolverine. Those are opposite characters.
And then at the last minute, while the X-Men are being teleported home by Reed Richards, the Chippy is like, me too, and flies
Chippy
into
dragon flies in.
Teleport field.
Important detail, at the time, that is a miniature dragon, just like Lockheed.
Same as
the size of a puppy.
Yeah. And then there's a big leadership conflict throughout Secret Wars, right?
Right.
We have Xavier's kind of like taking control, and Storm's like, what the fuck? But she's being actually kind of like a baby about it. She's not like being the mature Storm that we know. Like the Storm we know would be upset about this.
Yeah, but would be vocal and like righteous about it, not whining and then storming off.
Yes.
No
and
pun
then
intended.
and then Cyclops is like, actually, maybe I should be leader still. And then also, Professor X keeps telling the X-Men to listen to Magneto, and they're like, they're all grumpy about it. So there's this like
Right.
four-way leadership struggle.
This was strictly a product of Secret Wars,
Yes.
this leadership struggle, and clearly because somebody didn't understand the characters they were working with.
Right.
But
So
we got to deal with that. Before we do, Matt, we have some orders of business to attend to.
Fine. All right. Sure. All right.
Welcome to Pat's Email Corner. We're going to kick it off with Weapon Jason. He's mad at us. He says, "Hey, Pat, tell Matt, disappointed that the 50th episode was not something special and instead wasted on this very bad series." That's the X-Men and the Micronauts he's referring to.
Oh, no.
Or was this intended to be how you wanted to celebrate issue number 50 of the podcast? I would say that's kind of how the cards were dealt.
Yeah, I guess we could have shuffled it around, but I don't think I remembered how bad X-Men and the Micronauts was. Like, I remembered it wasn't fun, but I didn't remember that it was like also
it was this bad. It should have been
so upsetting.
More fun. We also, I think you and I mentioned to each other like once, oh shit, this is our 50th episode. And then we forgot to mention it at all when we were actually recording.
Yeah, well, now we're on 52. That's a whole year of fucking episodes, dude. We haven't missed a single week.
Yes, we are consistent. Our 1 year, our anniversary is actually coming up. So please don't think that this is us very briefly celebrating 1 year. We'll do that next episode.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know how we celebrate. Do we have a celebration planned? We just have a good story to read next episode.
Yeah, that's all it's going to be. But it's a damn good story. Tune in, folks.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, shit yeah.
Shit
okay.
Yeah.
Weapon Jason goes on. He says Commander Ran, this is a correction for you, Matt. Commander Ran did have a toy, Time Traveler, in the comic. Ran traveled through time in a sarcophagus. And I always thought Bug was supposed to be a version of Kronos, who's way more bug-like than the comic version.
Just not according to the stuff that I was reading. It could be. I don't know. I'm not following the Micronauts.
There it is. He says, I used to own an Acroyer, pink, Time Traveler, blue, Baron Karza and Andromeda, Force Commander and Oberon, Biotron, and a Star Defender.
Holy shit.
Impressive.
That's so many.
Thank you, Weapon Jason. We're going to reach into the mailbag and pull out Email Michael next. He says, hey, Pat. Tell Matt that I haven't seen the 2020 Micronauts show. However, it was somehow leaked just last year, and all 52 episodes can be viewed on YouTube. He provides us a link. It's youtube.com/@Micronauts-fan-channel.
Oh.
If you ever change your mind and decide you do want to watch it. I don't expect you to, and I'm not going to either. It says also, Pat, your reference to editor-in-chief Jim Dumm's "Shut the fuck up, you stupid fuck" was your best name yet. I know I often jokingly use excessive praise in ways that might make it unclear if I'm sincere or not, so let me be 100% clear. I mean it this time. That was a good one. I'm not sure how you can possibly improve on it, but you've surprised me before. Oh, he tricked me into reading a compliment on air, Matt.
He got you, motherfucker.
He did get me. He followed up on this. He said, hey, Pat, tell Matt that I forgot to mention that Jack Black, as literally everyone, is an inspired choice, etc., etc. I've driven this joke into the ground. That was a joke? Up next, Matt, we gotta get this guy a nickname. It's Daniel.
All right, this will be the episode where we get him a nickname.
Truly.
Yeah.
More responses past episode 20 to 22 and future episode 47 to 49. Now we've let Daniel know we cannot possibly respond to all of these.
Past Daniel.
I'm going to read a few. I'm selecting a few here that I think are worth answering. This question is about when Cyclops, or not question, this comment is about when Cyclops calls Wolverine Wolver, says this just makes the joke of them finding out his name is Logan and asking why he didn't tell them even funnier. I can't tell if it was a joke years in the making or if one day they looked back on all their books and realized they never bothered to name this man and the fans never bothered to ask. I am sure that it's not that the fans never bothered to ask. He also joins our street team. He finally
thank you.
volunteers his address. He gave us a list of favorite X-Men, so we have to choose which one it is for him. That's fine. Up next, another classic. His name was Dusk. Says, hey, Pat, can you tell Matt that I'm finally caught up to your new episodes, and boy, was it a wild ride. Excited to see that there's now a Patreon, and I've added y'all there as well so I can read along. I'm not sure. He doesn't say.
Okay.
I've heard you all mention Dungeons and Dragons on the show a couple of times, and as a forever DM, I've been thinking about which X-Men characters would play D&D and what character class they would play if they did. He gives us a long list, and I'll tell you, I don't think we have time to go through the whole list here, but things like Jean Grey would play a cleric.
All right, Pat.
Yeah.
He's got a couple more here, but here's what I want to do with you.
Okay.
I had a thought. I wonder if we have the exact same thought here. And then really think about it for a second. I'll give you a few seconds. Which is the X-Man that almost certainly has played, like out of any of these guys, has actually played D&D before? Like
Beast.
Likely to canonically have played D&D.
Beast, and he doesn't mention Bobby here, but Hank and Bobby play D&D together for sure.
Wrong. It's Kitty Pryde. It's 100% Kitty Pryde. Kitty Pryde is always talking.
Also, yeah.
She's always like, I think Beast, it makes sense for him to have him and Bobby, right? But I think they're a little, they were in the 70s, right? So they were maybe a little too old by the time D&D came out. Kitty Pryde absolutely 100%, 1000% plays D&D in between the panels of the X-Men.
Has she said it in the comic somewhere?
No, but she reads comics. No. That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
She reads comics. She's
always
into nerd shit.
So she has
Hank. Her best friend. She has like best friends with like hackers.
So does Hank.
No, he's not. Who's his hacker best friend?
The Professor X. Okay. So my main issue with this list is it seems like we're pairing, and feel free to respond, but it seems like we're pairing characters with the class that their character is most like Cyclops as a paladin, Jean Grey as a cleric, Beast as an artificer. I think like Beast would probably be our bard. I think that Jean Grey would probably play like a tank character. I think that these are I think it's fantasy, right? You're not.
She does have like a bit of a toughness to her.
Right, but she doesn't have the she's not like a big sword wielder. So in a fantasy game, I think she would be like, yeah, let me be the big strong guy.
Because she has the toughness to her in her personality, but not in her physicality. That's why she would play like a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, Cyclops, again, I don't know what he would play. I think he would just do something out of the box. And I think maybe it ended up being like a wizard.
Sure. Yeah. I think he would probably be a bard. I think Wolverine would probably be a bard. I think Kurt would probably be our bard.
You think Kurt would be the bard? Because he...
Yeah.
What? I don't know. I feel like
Hank would probably be our bard.
Because I feel like Kurt would be a polite D&D player, while Hank and Warren would both be obnoxious players.
Thank you. His name was Dusk. Let us know what your name is now. Up next, Damie. It's been a little while, but we are hearing
Damie.
once again from Damie. I believe this is her second email, so not nicknameable just yet, but we should start thinking about it. Hey, Pat. Tell Matt that much like Daniel, I'm also catching up on episodes, and I'm really feeling that take on the professor. In the beginning, my opinion was shaped by the show and movies, and dare I say, fanfic. Then, reading more of the comics and listening to podcasts, I'm pretty firmly in the Chuck's an asshole camp. A manipulator who lusts after a young girl from the start, abandoning his charges at the drop of a hat. Yuck. And then she signs off, also Megs is kind of right, Damie.
Okay,
yeah.
a fanfic, an X-Men fan. So I think this is a big thing that separates fanfic from textual works.
Mhm.
Is like there's the character you want to see, and then there's the character that is. And I think it would be, if you were reading X-Men fanfic, I bet you would see a lot of very kind and wise Professor Xavier, right?
Right. Yeah.
But if you are writing X-Men and you are thinking about it on the level of like, what is this saying as a piece of art, and what am I adding to it? You are going to immediately pick up on like, oh, Professor Xavier fucking sucks, and he is a barrier to the growth of the characters in every way.
Yes. And it really, we've talked about this before, but at much more length. It seems like through the 60s, maybe the 70s, a lot of that wasn't intended to be portraying him as a prick. It was sort of like a combination of where feminism was at the time, where masculinity was at the time, and just the sort of hacky writing that you needed to put together comic books. But it seems like Chris Claremont especially has sort of run with that, and he is realizing
he fully
how
understands it.
Yeah. And and we've known reading through his comics, one of his original missions was to make everything from the past years of X-Men make sense. So he read through that, he picked this out and said, no, this guy's a terrible person.
But like I'm saying, even if you as the writer aren't like Professor X is a terrible person, you are as the writer going to be like, oh, I need somebody to be the obstacle for the character to overcome, and the person who fits that role so often is Professor X. So even though I don't think they intended for him to be a paternalistic, misogynistic piece of shit, I think they did sow those seeds intentionally. They weren't like, and this is where he bees a dick, right? They were still like, this is where Bobby needs to argue with somebody. And they make it Professor Xavier. So it's not as if it's entirely accidental that happened.
Maybe I'm focusing too much on the crush that he has on Jean Grey.
I think
that's established early on. But that one is, I think, a product of like, oh yeah, this would be a natural thing. A teacher has a little crush on his student.
I agree. I don't think we should ever ignore that. But I do think we should always acknowledge that was 2 lines of dialogue ever.
Yes, that was one panel, but it
was what I think it was
stuck up here. It's not going anywhere.
There was a second panel, like Chris Claremont referenced it later. So technically 2 panels. But yeah, so I do think we do need to, most of the time they wrote Charles Xavier, they weren't thinking he was lusting after Jean Grey. But we can't forget that happened.
It's like a canceled celebrity where now every time you see them, you can only think of the thing that got them canceled.
Yeah.
All right, and then we got I would say one more, Matt, but it's really 3 more.
What?
From Mikey, 2 mails. He sent us his traditional 2 mails, and in the second mail, he mentioned that if he had time, he would attempt to make a Pilk video for us.
What?
And then Matt.
What?
He did.
There's no way.
Let me pull this up. I think you have access to it as well if you want to watch it for a second.
Yeah, I do.
Let's watch it. Hang on.
Hi, Pat. Tell Matt that I regret this already.
Oh, no.
That is horrible.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Okay.
That looks like active suffering.
He did it. And here's the thing is, for anybody just listening right now,
Yeah.
we know that this is Pilk because he dribbles some of it out at the end because it's not good. Now,
he does that thing where it's clearly not a performative reaction, because he does that thing where his mouth kind of freezes. He's in the middle of drinking, and it's almost like he swallows, and then his mouth does not want to clean up the rest of the Pilk that's in it. It paralyzes, so that Pilk starts dribbling from it. And everybody recognizes that from a time that they drank or ate something horrible.
You want to watch it again? I'm going to watch it again.
Hi, Pat. Tell Matt that I regret this already. That is horrible.
Wow, I cannot believe that you've done this, Mikey Two Males.
What a guy. Now, I hate to put a technicality on this.
No!
But the reason we were so curious about Pilk is because you and I, Matt, disagreed on the idea that it would curdle instantly.
Agree. Yeah, I think it will not.
And the one thing that this video is missing is a perspective where we would see what's in the mug and whether or not it curdled. So,
yeah,
if Mikey Two Males, you could please, if you have any leftover Pepsi and milk, put it together, give us a picture, just take your camera and show whether or not it curdles before you drink it again. You would have to drink it again.
You can.
That's the other requirement.
We'd appreciate it if you drink it again. No, please don't drink it again. All right.
Yeah.
How close are
Nobody
we?
do this.
How close are we to Pilk?
Well, Matt, I had a little confused moment here because we got a few big contributors, some people that really want us to drink Pilk, but they are outside of the US. So if we were counting in Australian dollars, Canadian dollars, euros, probably not euros, but we would be over that $100 mark. In US dollars right now, we are at $75 per month.
Oh my gosh. No, we are so close. All right. So
coming close, and I don't recall putting a deadline on this.
What Pat is talking about is if we get to $100 a month in a Patreon subscribers, there's a link in our show notes, patreon.com/mutantmenace. We will drink Pilk.
Yeah, $100 for one full cycle.
Oh my God.
We will drink Pilk. And we might as well mention $150 we'll drink Bepsi, which is Pepsi with buffalo sauce in it. $500 for 3 consecutive months.
Wait, no. Was it that? I thought if we hit $500 even once.
No, if we hit $500 once, we open a new monthly podcast. If we hit $500 for 3 consecutive months, we drink Pilk. We drink Pepsi. We drink Bilk, which is buffalo sauce and milk. And then we drink Bepsilk, which is just the abhorrent combination of the 3.
This will never happen, and it shouldn't.
Yeah.
But Fuck, guys. Why are you doing this? Oh,
We
no.
might hit Pilk, honestly. We might have to do this.
I feel like we might hit Pilk. I didn't think our Patreon would bring in more than like $30 ever.
Well, it was under $30 until we started making these offers, Matt. And that is the end of Pat's Email Corner. All right, Matt, that is the end of Pat's Email Corner. Oh, I guess we got to start a new one.
He's coming back. Okay. All right, I'm done.
We've been recording for an hour. Do you want to talk about the X-Men?
To be fair, we talked about X-Men already a little bit, but I do want to know, Pat, did you do anything X-Men related this week?
Did I do anything X-Men related this week? Matt, I went to a basketball game. I went to see the Philadelphia 76ers. And much like the X-Men, they are a team of 5 people who individually are very talented. They have some very unique and strange skills and physical assets. But when you put them together, they form an elite team that is seemingly, to me, unstoppable. So yes, I went and saw the 76ers play, and the configuration of a basketball team, in my mind, is a lot like...
Well, are you going to tell me about this basketball game?
X-Men.
Was it fun?
Yeah, it was a pretty good time.
Okay. Sounds very X-Men related.
Thank you, Matt. Did you do anything X-Men related this week?
Well, much like the X-Men is a team of people who all on their own have unique skills and abilities, and yet when combined together, they create a sort of a team that is more than the sum of their parts.
Yeah.
I saw an improv show.
Whoa. How was it? Are you not allowed to say?
It was all right. It was okay. There's some people that I know in the improv team that were very, very funny.
Do they listen to this podcast?
I don't know.
Hope not.
I don't know. So that's where we'll leave it. No, there was some very good bits, much like a run of X-Men. There are some very good scenes.
Really good bits.
Very good scenes, very good stories, and some very questionable scenes and stories.
Okay, yeah. There was some Claremont era improv. There was some
Roy Thomas era improv.
Yeah, Roy Thomas era improv.
Maybe even some Arnold Drake era improv.
Oh, good stuff. Very X-Men.
Very X-Men related.
Look at us in our team activities, watching team activities.
Patrick.
Yes.
Now, at this point, I want you to shut the fuck up.
Oh.
Because I'm going to tell you about Uncanny X-Men number 181, Tokyo Story. You can actually talk.
Okay, I was nodding if you didn't see. I was nodding in agreement.
Chris Claremont is the writer. John Romita Jr. and Dan Green are the artists. Tom Orzechowski is the letterer. Glynis Weins, the colorist. Louise Jones is the editor. And John Schloppy is editor-in-chief. Release date, February 7th, 1984. Cover date, May 1984. 5 Japanese teenagers look up in awe as a giant green dragon, like the size of a stadium, flies by overhead. As they wonder where it could have come from, they see a group of people and one tiny purple dragon also in the sky, plummeting to the ground.
Whoa. These kids have a little this I gotta ask. So these kids have a little book. It's called a Book of Monsters. They see a big green dragon flying overhead, and they say, "Is this in our Book of Monsters?" And they start paging through it. Godzilla.
Yeah.
Red Ronin.
Okay.
Astro Boy. And the Hulk.
Well, Red Ronin is a Marvel character.
As is the Hulk.
Yes.
They've got two characters that exist in this universe, plus Godzilla, which I'm pretty sure Marvel put out some Godzilla comics, right? So
yes, right.
That could be. Is Astro Boy real in the 616 universe?
I know what's
this would imply.
I think what's so funny about this though is like if there were a sort of a thing, if Japan was a land of monsters, the way that it is in certain cinema depictions and in Marvel comics, the Hulk would be one of them.
Right. They would be like, thank God the Hulk is over in America.
It would be, there would be no differentiating between the guy, the Hulk, and the guy, Godzilla. You'd be like, those are two different types of monster, which is so crazy. Even like Nightcrawler, you'd be like, oh, he's like a good dude, but he's also a monster. He's another monster, like Astro Boy.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't cause destruction on that massive scale.
Yeah, but neither does Astro Boy, right?
Oh, that's true. Although he's nuclear powered.
He is nuclear powered and he has lasers in his butthole. The X-Men that appeared in Secret Wars land in a heap on the ground as the big green dragon flies off. As they gather themselves, they note a few things. They are clearly in Japan a week after they left New York. Scott is not with them. And that big green dragon is actually Lockheed's little chippy from Secret Wars, but giant now.
Oh no!
Now I don't know why they're surprised that they're a week later, because
that's about the amount of time that passed during Secret Wars.
Yes, and Reed's device, they weren't magically transported back like Dr. Doom offered. They were transported back through like a matter transporter that Reed Richards invented. So even that they're like, we were supposed to come back from where we left and we ended up somewhere else. Like, that's not that strange.
Yeah, I have to imagine. So maybe the rotation of the Earth is what landed them in Japan.
Maybe. But if that's
like they
the
came
case,
back a week and 12 hours later.
If that's the case, though, then they should have dropped in the middle of outer space, because
that's fair. It would have been in a different position in its orbit around the sun,
and the galaxy would have turned as well. Like, everything rotates in space.
That would be so funny if Reed didn't account for
it. Just killed every superhero.
Killed all the superheroes on Earth.
And he's like, fuck.
Jim Stupid finally gets his wish.
All right. There's a metaphor here, but I think maybe we can get to it later. Xavier orders Rogue to fly back to the mansion to check on the new mutants and get a status update on Kitty and Doug's trip to the Massachusetts Academy. Wolverine takes note of Charles trying to take command. The X-Men... Yeah, go ahead.
So his reasoning is pretty thin here, where he's like, the first time somebody pushes back on him, like acting like he's in charge, he goes, well, I can walk now, so it makes me the most capable leader.
Rogue, to her credit, though,
turn
to Storm and is like, hey, you're the boss. Should I go?
Yes, that is so cool.
That's no wonder she became a fan favorite so quick. Like, she's immediately endearing herself to us and the other X-Men.
Yeah.
Also, I missed a line a little bit ago where Wolverine, when they find they're in Japan, he goes, "Can't seem to stay out of this flaming country even when I want to." It's very funny.
We're back, baby.
The X-Men start planning how the heck they're going to stop a dragon, as does the Japanese military from a command center across the country. Mariko is there for some reason.
Yeah, what?
Well,
I thought this would play a bigger part in the story, but it doesn't. She's a high-ranking military official now.
Yeah, she's a government. And she's been a government for a while, I guess.
Wasn't she the head of a criminal empire? Wasn't that the...
In downtown Tokyo, the X-Men arrive to find the big green dragon wreaking havoc, literally tearing the tops off of skyscrapers. They immediately get to work protecting and rescuing civilians as the Japanese military and even Sunfire show up to try to beat the dragon.
Whoa, Sunfire. He's not super helpful.
No, not at all. Oh my God. It's like there's a scene where he tries to like destroy some detritus falling from the sky and doesn't destroy it enough. And Xavier's like, "God damn it, this guy, he's so reckless and careless." It's like seeing a guy you fired, like an ex-employee of yours, as a boss.
Right.
And immediately being like, "Of course, this is why I let this guy go."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In a brief actual interlude for once.
He called it an interlude, and it was an interlude.
We see Scott drop from the sky in Tahiti, right next to Madeline, outside their honeymoon suite.
Problem solved.
Problem solved.
He's back. She forgives him.
All done. They're both looking
Happily ever
very
after.
sexy in very little clothing.
Yeah,
It's very good.
Of course. I love that they teleport Cyclops back in skimpy honeymoon clothing.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just in his gym shorts, probably not wearing underwear.
Back in Tokyo, things are looking a little bleak. There's a line that the Japanese military says. They're like, "There's a giant dragon, sir. It's headed for Tokyo." And the other guy says, "That can't be. This is the off season."
All right. Very good, Chris Claremont.
Missiles, tank fire, even Sunfire having little to no effect on the dragon. Storm tries to control the disastrous wind created by its wings, but finds the power too much for even her to contain. Xavier gets hit by some rubble and makes it everyone's problem.
Oh my God. He just starts screaming psychically.
Yeah.
Rubble! Please, somebody help me!
Help me! And Wolverine,
Everybody stop what you're doing and help me!
and they're like, "Dude, you're fine. There's other people who actually need our help." Wolverine tracks down a mother and daughter rescuing from the rubble to discover that the mother's wounds are mortal.
Oh no.
As she draws her last breaths, Wolverine swears to protect and care for her daughter, Amiko. It's a really nice moment.
It's very well done. Like, they give you just enough to feel a bit of an emotional connection to this dying woman. It does not make sense to me that Wolverine is like, "Yes, I will raise her as if she was my own daughter immediately."
Right, rather than being like, "I will make sure somebody takes care of her."
Yes, yeah.
Agreed.
And it's clearly just a way to be like, Wolverine has a daughter now. Where's this gonna go?
Yeah, I think it makes sense for Wolverine to be like, "I want to comfort this woman as she dies." It
Sure.
doesn't quite make sense for him to be like, this is
my daughter now.
Yeah.
And that's not what she's asking for you. This is a dying woman just saying like, "Hey, can somebody take care of my daughter?" And then this man in a spandex costume and pointy helmet with claws coming out of his hands is like, "She's my daughter now."
He says like, "I'll keep her safe. Good. I'll see her raised as if she were my own. Not I will make sure she's okay as if she was one of my own would have been a better line and would have made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The fact that he says, I'll see her raised. I had to read that line like 3 times. Like, why is he saying that?
Why are you using the passive voice here, Wolverine?
And why are you even talking about her being raised? Like, just get her safe is all.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, just as things seem their most hopeless as the dragon appears to be closing in on the kids we saw opening the issue, it comes to a sudden stop. Lockheed floats before her, yelling at her for her behavior and even booping her on the nose with some fire.
Lockheed is also regular size. This is a giant dragon facing off a 100th scale.
And he's barking at her like Donkey in Shrek when he's yelling at that dragon, remember?
Oh, yeah. Maybe this is where they got that.
This is probably where they got that. She reels away more from the shock of being yelled at by her lover than from the pain. Lockheed follows, and they both disappear somewhere over the ocean. Tokyo is saved, and the X-Men are heroes. But they don't feel like it, surrounded by all this destruction.
This is a fun moment where we get to see them being like, Jesus Christ, what happened? We couldn't contain this. Like, look at all this destruction. What a failure. And then we see the news, the Japanese news, not the American media, the Japanese news being like, these are the X-Men and they just saved us. They just saved this whole city. I watched a documentary on Fukushima on HBO. Okay. It's about just like the tsunami, obviously, that came through, but then the nuclear disaster that followed and how they had to prevent it from like destroying half of Japan. And it was very, I watched it like the minute before I read this issue. So it was very much like the same story where all those nuclear plant workers were like, we've let everybody down. We've been here for like days trying to prevent nuclear disaster. Everybody probably hates us. And then it took them a long time to realize that they were actually hailed as heroes like around the world because they did avert the incredible disaster.
Yeah. Later, the X-Men, reflecting on their hollow victory, wonder what made this once friendly dragon turn so hostile. Lockheed has reappeared but offers no answers. Wolverine has a theory. Looking out over the hills, he points at all the tops of the buildings that the dragon stole have been fashioned into a giant nest in the distance. She was just in love. She wanted to settle down.
Aww. It is really cute. It's a little corny, but this whole issue is a little corny and sweet.
Yeah, I have a In an epilogue, we see President Philip something in the office telling Senator Robert Kelly that he's insane and that he'll never support a bill that amounts to legalize slavery.
Oh.
Kelly throws the bill down on the president's desk as he storms out, revealing its title. The Mutant Affairs Control Act.
Whoa.
It's fucked up.
This panel fucks. This final scene just being like, hey, we just had a nice, relaxing issue. They jaunted around Japan with a dragon. But just so you know, it's about to get really fucked up.
And I mean, if you remember, this is the bill that they were trying to stop from coming into existence in Days of Future Past.
Right.
It was, if we save Senator Kelly's life, then they will never pass the Mutant Affairs Control Act.
Yes.
And yet, this is Senator Kelly dropping it on the president's desk. So, man, Xavier fucking sucks at being an X-Man. He was horrible here. All he was a liability. He's like, well, now that I walk, I can be a good X-Man. Man, he did a bad job.
He keeps telling people to stop doing what they're doing. And then the moment he gets disturbed, he summons everybody. He says, hey, I know you guys are looking for civilians or keeping people safe from the falling buildings. I need you on me immediately.
Yeah. Colossus, though, I don't know. Somehow in this read, Colossus is becoming like a favorite of mine.
Yeah, he's a sweet, wholesome boy.
And he's just so consistent. Like, they got back, like they saw the dragon tearing up Tokyo, right? And they flew in on the winds that Storm conjured up. Then Colossus drops on the ground, and immediately as a reader, I'm like, oh, everything's okay. Don't worry, everybody. Colossus is there. He's such a comforting sight. I don't know if you're starting to feel this way about Colossus.
I've felt this most of. I think obviously Kurt is my favorite character for similar reasons, just different, I think, ends of those spectrums. But
right.
Yeah, Peter is easily the purest, nicest man on the team.
Yeah. And he's just a consistent warrior. He'll just show up and he'll fucking save the day, and you don't have to worry about him, and you don't have to worry about the people he's trying to save because he's got it.
Right. But you always need to give him the right command, right? It's not like he's just a perfect soldier. If you're telling him to do something that's unethical to him, he's going to say,
yeah,
I've got another way to do that.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know. Did you catch any kind of metaphor in reading this issue?
No, but I know you did, and I'm very excited to hear it.
So this is my feeling is, all right, so when they are on Battle World, this dragon is very small. Right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, Lockheed it's clearly Jim Stupid is like, well, what if Lockheed has a new girlfriend? I think
why not two dragons?
I think this Lockheed character's boring. What if
higher?
I think this Lockheed character's boring. What if we give him a little girlfriend, a little chippy, and I'm going to make her come back with him. So like, here's something that Chris Claremont has to deal with, right? And there's this thing that feels like what Jim Stupid is saying to everybody at every moment, right? It's just a little like, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just giving you this. I'm giving you something to make your stories better. It's not that big of a deal. Yet, what Claremont is saying is this thing that was not a big deal on Battle World in your fucking little mini series. When we pull it back and put it in my comic, you don't understand it. You fucked things up so bad. This thing is a huge deal that can destroy the whole world I'm building.
That's really smart. Because now you have created a monster, right? We've literally created a monster. Lockheed, we don't know where Lockheed comes from, what his deal is. He is fully mysterious. There's clearly a thread to pull at there that's coming. And so, this creates, it also, one of the fun details considering this metaphor is that this dragon has a big old pot belly. Just like it hangs lower than the rest of him when he's flying.
I think in Secret Wars 1, the X-Men don't get that fucked up, right? There's the leadership squabbles. There's Magneto getting a somewhat of a hero arc. There is Colossus falling out of love with Kitty Pryde. And there's this little dragon thing, right? Like, that's it.
Sure.
And I guess Scott being pulled away from his honeymoon. But some other people, like whoever was writing Fantastic Four at this time, lost the thing.
Yeah, they have to write in Jennifer Walters now.
Yeah, exactly. Like some of these other, the Spider-Man writers have a brand new Spider-Man outfit that has some sort of secret alien properties, right? Like for some of these people that Claremont maybe was writing in
defense of.
There were huge fucking dragons that their teams came back with.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see that throughout these next few issues. Is that a bunch of little things where it's like, This is what happened when you interrupted all my shit.
Can't wait.
Me neither.
All right, let's keep moving, Matt. I want to talk to you about Uncanny X-Men number 182, Madness.
Uncanny X-Men Blink 180.
Good, you're getting there.
Uncanny Blinksmen 182.
Hey.
No, I didn't do it.
Chris Claremont writer, John Romita Jr. and Dan Green artists, Glynis Wein colorist, Tom Orzechowski letterer, Louise Jones and Ann Nocenti editors.
Ooh.
John Sloppy, editor-in-chief. Release date March 13th, 1984. Cover date June 1984. Exhausted, Rogue arrives at the mansion after flying halfway across the world, only to find it empty and silent. In the professor's office, she finds a beeping answering machine and plays the messages. All of the alarms are going off in the house, and she goes right for the answering machine.
I also think she has a lot of like funny thoughts here. One thing being that she even thinks in the if you don't know the way Rogue talks, it's this over the top Southern accent.
Yeah, it's very much written into her dialogue.
Yeah, and one of the ways that it's written in is every A or every I is AH. So like, I've never felt so beat is one of her lines here. And she thinks in Oz. But also she's thinking about Secret Wars, and she's like, I got pulled halfway across the universe along with every other top-notch hero. Aw, Rogue thinks of herself as a top-notch hero.
She is. Sorta.
Sorta.
On the answering machine, Madeline Pryor is panicking about Scott vanishing. Oh. Beep! Colonel Mike Rossi is aboard a S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier and says cryptically, our suspicions have been confirmed before being suddenly cut off. Rogue recognizes the voice. In a panic, she takes off out the window while the next message plays.
Beep.
It's Ileana Rasputin calling from the Massachusetts Academy.
Oh, yeah.
Also, redundantly, a note flutters to the floor explaining where the New Mutants went.
Yeah, why? And like it falls under the desk. Like, oh no, now they won't see it. What?
I think it's a character thing because the note is also written by Ileana, so it's just letting us know she's very thorough about like her messing.
Why making it? Why
it's something she learned in limbo all those years.
Why make it fall under the desk like a smoking gun? Like, oh, now they'll never find out. Like, anyway.
On the detention deck of a S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier, Mike Rossi is getting his ass kicked during an interrogation by two S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. You remember Mike
him?
Rossi, by the way, Matt?
Yeah, that guy. He died in like X-Men 95 or something.
Right. The first time we ever saw him.
And then came back randomly at the beginning of New Mutants as like, hey, guess what? I'm not dead. It's like, okay.
So if you haven't listened in a while, he's the new Fred Duncan.
If you listened at the beginning, then skip a whole lot of episodes. If you've never listened before, he's just an FBI agent that's friends with Charles Xavier.
Yeah. And then Mike Rossi is his replacement. Mike Rossi doesn't work for the FBI.
Wait, yes, he does.
Oh, I thought he just worked for the government.
Oh, maybe he does. I thought he was FBI, and sometimes he's investigating other government agencies like Project Wide Awake and S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff.
Yeah. So what's important is he is an ally to the X-Men and also their sort of liaison to the government, sometimes in less than legal ways.
Yeah, he seems like he's a government employee, but also kind of like a government outsider. Again, like he's always investigating. When we meet him, he's investigating Stephen Lang's Sentinel project. And he's like, I'm going to take this to our bosses and shut this thing down. And and then he dies.
And he gets killed for it.
Mm-hmm. Why Claremont was like, I'm going to bring that guy back when he started writing it. It's so wild. Anyway.
I'm telling you, he's making some sort of money off of the use of characters that he named. So this guy, Mike Rossi, is getting his ass kicked during a S.H.I.E.L.D. interrogation by two agents. Well, one S.H.I.E.L.D. agent named Agent Price, while the other, Agent Paul Garwood, reminds him that Nick Fury said not to hurt the guy.
Oh.
Seemingly disgusted, he leaves the room, but we find out it's to call the Hellfire Club. Apparently, Rossi was caught using S.H.I.E.L.D. computers to research Sebastian Shaw. Shaw's response? Kill him. Also, we get a quick visit from Emma Frost asking Shaw to come to the Massachusetts Academy. Remember that?
Ooh, remember that? Remember when she did that? And then they did that?
Rogue approaches the helicarrier and has a plan to get inside. Using her super strength, she flicks a quarter through the hull, knocking out the radar. It's so cool.
So cool.
And rushes into the computer room in the confusion to knock out the security systems and lock all the bulkhead doors or whatever. This is fascinating, and we don't need to get into too much detail right now, but it is worth noting here that Rogue flies into the ship, into the exact room she needs to be in, identifies these specific security systems, and says, this is what I need to shut down to disable things here.
Now, eventually I will understand how she can do all that.
Yeah.
What I do not understand is how she knew where this fucking helicarrier was. Like, doesn't it move around?
Well, it's pretty big, Matt.
She just flew around the whole sky.
Cut to Garwood, our S.H.I.E.L.D. agent come Hellfire goon, who slips under a closing door just in time, coming to face with Price and the unconscious Colonel Rossi. He shoots Price and begins to stage a setup to kill and frame Rossi, but as he leans down to finish Price off, he hears a sound behind him. Rogue stands there, holding the bulkhead open with one hand. Rossi's an old friend, she says. She knocks Garwood out and grabs Rossi, who recognizes her voice. She calls him lover and then punches through the hull, flying off with him. Pursued by two fighter jets, she flicks another quarter through one's engine, and as the pilot bails, the other loses her on his radar. She's gone.
Man, good thing she just went to the arcade. She had these quarters with her the entire time she was at Secret Wars?
Apparently, yeah. She brought 50 cents.
She's like, I might need this.
Traveling to strange realms, I always bring some cash. Cut to Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Rogue is carrying Rossi, who she calls Ace, into what she says is her parents' house.
What?
She lays him in bed.
Wait.
I know. She lays him in bed, judging that he should be fine. Then we get one line of dialogue in her thoughts. This house, I don't belong. That reminds us, wait, Rogue hasn't been using her accent since the mansion, before she remembers that her mom keeps the pantry fully stocked and rushes off to make some food.
Wait, had you noticed that? Had you noticed that she hasn't been using her Oz?
I didn't. Somebody mentions it, I think, like a few pages later.
Oh, okay.
That she's not, that her accent, or that she's like vacillating between accents. And then I went back and was like, holy shit.
Yeah. It was right here that I noticed, because she says, and then it's like, oh my God. Yeah.
She's been saying, I.
What the fuck?
Later, Rossi wakes up trying to figure out where he is. Rogue comes in with a bowl of soup. He notes that this is Xavier's new charge, Rogue, but can't understand why she's speaking in a familiar Boston accent. Nor how Rogue knows how to make this soup, his friend's unique soup.
This is a story
that
hinges on a soup.
This is not your unique soup. This is my friend's unique soup.
Hey, I've tasted this soup before. This isn't your soup. Explain this soup to me.
Rogue's confused. It's her soup. Did he forget? Rossi says he's never met this woman, and yet Rogue is certain they've known each other for years. Rossi asks where she learned the nickname Ace, and Rogue tells him, I gave it to you.
Just like I gave you this soup. That's another thing. Let's circle back around to the soup.
When Rogue references the incident where he and Wolverine broke her out of the KGB's prison in Lubyanka, Rossi starts putting it together. Rogue starts to have doubts. Her thoughts aren't adding up. She enlisted in the Air Force at 18, but she's 18 now. She's slipping in and out of her accent rapidly as she recounts her memories of the house they're in and her family and the scar on her hand, which isn't there. She's never had a family. None except Mystique. When she catches a look of her face in the mirror, she's even more panicked until Rossi grabs her by the shoulders. You're not Carol Danvers, he tells her. Rogue rushes out of the room, tripping and falling down a hill. Memories of Carol as a child running and playing with her brothers swirl in front of her eyes like ghosts, and she screams. She sees Carol's life flash before her, up to and including the moment where she, Rogue, took Carol's powers and her memories. Rossi finds her on the bank of the bay crying. She tells him the story, how early on in her villain career she fought Captain Marvel and wanted to get back at her. Driven by vengeance and ignorance, she didn't know the extent of her powers and took too much. How it drove her crazy. How she may as well have put a bullet in Carol's brain for all it would have mattered because she took everything that was Carol from her. Carol Danvers may have her memories back thanks to Xavier, but her emotions, her sense of self, that all went into Rogue. Now when Rogue looks at Rossi, she sees him as Carol would. But when Carol looks at Rossi, she just remembers how she should feel about him. But now Rogue can't tell her own feelings apart from the Carol Danvers feelings in her head. She loves Michael, Ace. She is Carol Danvers. Colonel Michael Rossi slaps her across the face. And he walks away. While Rogue cries out apologies, Rossi tells her he wishes he had the power to kill her for what she's done. So do I, she whimpers. Epilogue. Nick Fury and Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine tend to Paul Garwood in a sickbed. A woman smashed in and killed Price despite his attempts to stop her and absconded with the unidentified prisoner. Fury holds up a picture of Rogue. That's her, Colonel, he says. Fury issues an all-points alert for Rogue to be brought in, dead or alive. Now,
Damn, this is a crazy issue.
You're telling me Nick Fury holds up a picture of Rogue in front of Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, and she says nothing about the stripe in her hair?
Explain to listeners what the fuck you're talking about.
They've both got white skunk stripes at this time exactly in the same place on their heads.
Yeah.
Like, it is a very unique look. You would think Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, Nick Fury's girlfriend, and we will find out, well, we might not find out on this podcast, but generally not a good person.
Played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus in
the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Yeah.
that's right. She's sassy. She's like, you would think she sees someone with the same hairstyle and would at least just acknowledge it.
Do you think that the original idea was that they were supposed to be mother and daughter?
Oh.
Because
of the stripe in their hair?
Well, why would you put the two next to each other? I have a feeling that maybe, I mean, Marvel wasn't smart about this stuff. Just a skunk stripe in the hair is enough.
That's true. It would be. That's a
era.
genetic condition.
Yeah.
Like
also,
being blue.
In this, they call her La Contessa Valentina Allegro de Fontaine in this issue. Wrong.
Idiot, moron.
This
This
issue
ruled.
is so good.
It was such strong characterization for Rogue, while still telling a story. Like, you were also just as confused as she is and as Michael Rossi is, trying to figure out what's going on as it goes on. It was really well done.
We don't know, even up to the end, what Mike Rossi discovered on that. Was it just that Paul Garwood worked for the Hellfire Club?
My guess is that he is digging into the Mutant Affairs Control Act, because originally that was being pushed by Sebastian Shaw, which is who he was Googling on the S.H.I.E.L.D. computers.
That is a good thought. The other thought that I just had was Professor X, when he left, had just sent Doug and Kitty to the Massachusetts Academy. And then immediately you have Mike Rossi calling him back and saying, hey, our suspicions were correct, after he had just searched. So did he use S.H.I.E.L.D. computers to research and be like, actually, it's not safe for her to be there? I mean, because this
is a week later, Mike Rossi, come on.
This is another issue where it's like, in two different ways. Number one, by leaving Mike Rossi alone up there, and number two, by leaving the New Mutants and Kitty and Doug and everybody alone for this is another thing that got fucked up by the X-Men leaving for Secret Wars.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. Also, there's a cool Tessa computer brain thing here. We don't see much of Tessa, but we do see her for a second. She's Sebastian Shaw's secretary, and she's got her mutant powers computer brain.
Ooh.
And so it shows Mike Rossi on the screen, and she's like, Colonel Mike Rossi, United States Air Force field operative with the Special Investigation Service, reported somewhere missing in actions of it. Yeah, she's
I just assumed that was his computer talking and there was a woman standing at it.
No, that is that is Tessa's computer brain. That is her. We'll learn a lot more about that in the 2000s. But for now, yeah, she's just a woman with a computer brain.
One last detail from me here. We get a look. When Rogue enters, she enters through Storm's attic room because she flies just like Storm does.
Yeah.
And we get a look at Storm's new room, which is pretty sick. She's got like a low L-shaped couch. She's got some big tapestries on the walls. There's no plants in the room. She set her bed up on a loft.
I love an L-shaped couch.
I know. This looks very cozy. It's got a low coffee table that has like ottomans that tuck into it. It's really, really sleek. Just got to say, update on Storm's bedroom. It's cool.
Well, maybe we'll see more of it here in Uncanny X-Men number 183.
We don't.
Damn it. He'll never make me cry.
Oh.
Not Pat. Pat might make me cry by telling me that we won't see Storm's bedroom. The name of the issue is He'll Never Make Me Cry. Chris Claremont's the writer, John Romita Jr. and Dan Green are the artist, Tom Orzechowski's the letterer, Glynis Weins the colorist, and Nesenti's the editor, and Juv is the editor.
You should start writing these down.
Release date April 10th, 1984. Cover date July 1984. First, I just want to say before anything, this is one of my favorite issues of the X-Men ever.
Yes. So dragon issue, good, better than I expected it to be when it opens with a giant dragon.
Yeah.
Rogue issue, excellent, but focused on one character. It was really just for us to get to know Rogue. This is a combination of those two things. Please.
This is an all-timer. But actually, I do want to set up some context here. So this is also about this is dealing with the fallout of Peter Rasputin falling in love with Zaji. And I was wondering about that because what the fuck? Was this an editorial mandate? Was Jim Shooter like, I don't like Kitty and Peter being together and I'm going to get in the way of it? Because it doesn't make much sense. He falls in love with a person he doesn't know and never has talked to. And then she dies. And then he's like, now I don't love Kitty anymore because she's dead.
Yeah.
Like, what a strange thing. So I tried looking it up. What do you think is going on here?
I think Kitty Pryde was becoming a very popular character, especially among teen boys. And I think her relationship with Colossus got to a point where editorial said, hey, we can't have her in a relationship. Like, there is too much appeal to teen boys thinking they could bag Kitty Pryde. If she has a boyfriend, we lose all of that.
You don't think the age gap relates? So, okay.
No, I think was honestly, dude, in the 80s and the two of them both still being teenagers, I don't think anybody saw an age gap issue.
Okay. The other thing, the only Claremont loves, has done this since like issue 1, loves to imply that people are having sex. And
Sure.
I think he's done it with Kitty and Colossus twice. I think he has implied them having sex off panel 2 different times.
Yeah, you could argue that. I think both times you could argue that it was just about them kissing because they're two fairly innocent young people.
Well, one time she was like, she had Emma Frost's, what was it? Who was?
Oh no, she was possessed by.
She was possessed by Lilith, right?
The mythological.
That's right.
Goddess.
And then the other time, yeah, they could have just been kissing. And I think that is how Chris Claremont gets away with this. And I think he does this with adults too. He's like, well, technically all we saw them do was kiss, but I'm
choosing to read it that way.
He's often implying sex. But I'm wondering if the people at Marvel knew this about Claremont. And so we're reading into it. Okay. So I looked it up. There's an article on Slash Film that says it was a Jim Shooter mandate. And I also assume that's happening because it took place in Secret Wars. Anything that takes place in Secret Wars is clearly it's a Jim Shooter mandate.
Trying to.
So, yeah. That it was a Jim Shooter mandate because he didn't like the age gap is what the Slash Film article said. That article refers to a Comic Book Herald article that doesn't say that. So that was weird. Then I read there's a bunch of Redditors that say it was a Shooter mandate because he didn't like the age gap. He had a teenage daughter at the time. He didn't like the idea of a 14-year-old and an 18-year-old dating. Or wasn't he 19 at the time? I don't know.
19.
And they all refer to that Claremont's X-Men documentary, which I'd seen, and I don't remember that. So I scrubbed through it. I didn't have time to watch the whole thing, so maybe listeners can correct me. But I couldn't find any evidence in the documentary at all of Jim Shooter saying that. So there's a lot of people online claiming that they read somewhere that Jim Shooter did not like
said
the
it was an age gap thing.
But I cannot find any original sources of this. So I don't know.
Well, you know me, Matt. I am not one to give him the benefit of the doubt. So.
All right. Anyway, now let's get into the issue. Peter and Kitty sit atop the cliffside on the Xavier property, a tension between them that neither wants to address. Kitty awkwardly asked if anything fun happened in Secret Wars. And Peter responds, I met someone else. We fell in love.
Jesus Christ, dude. It's so... If we're not conveying this, the two of them are sitting there thinking something horrible is about to happen, right? Peter is thinking, I've got to break up with her right now. And Kitty is thinking, it seems a whole lot like he's about to break up with me.
Yeah.
And she just tries to open a conversation. Neither of them are saying anything. And the first thing he says to her is, I met someone else we fell in love.
Dude, you could have been a little more sensitive. I mean, man, how many times have you had that conversation in your life where, your partner's being weird and you don't know how to address it, and you say something like, "Oh, hey, anything interesting happened to you this weekend when you were hanging with that, at your sister's house?"
We got to talk. So,
Yeah. Oh, you were out with 7 of your male friends last night. Anything fun happen?
It's also very funny for Kitty trying to break the tension, being like, "So, did anything fun happen on that battle world?"
They chat for another 3 beautiful, touching pages. Peter talks about how even though Zaji died, his feelings for her have still replaced his feelings for Kitty. Kitty is outwardly supportive and understanding, but inwardly devastated. She heads back to her room where Ileana and Lockheed offer her some emotional support. Again,
It's
just a really touching dialogue.
Yeah. And Kitty's internal monologue really nails it here. I know it's been a little while since we've talked about how good Chris Claremont is at writing out this teenage girl, but the contrast between what she's saying and what she's thinking is like, again, I've been broken up with. I've broken up with people. This is somebody just trying to be cool.
Yeah.
It is nailed here.
Yeah. Something weird in that dialogue, though. He calls Zaji a native of the planet the Beyonder created. What the fuck?
Excuse me? Does Chris Claremont not understand that this was a chunk of another planet that was removed to make the amalgam planet that was Battleworld?
Up with this guy. Unreadable issue. A few floors down, Storm finds Rogue going through combat exercises in the danger room, alone, set to a suicidal difficulty.
Oof.
She shuts down the exercises and stops a robot from pulverizing Rogue, but Rogue isn't grateful. She's racked with guilt about what she's done to Carol Danvers. She can't find her own identity within herself and is clearly ready to die. Rogue leaves in a huff. I think there's something... These are really well earned, these like emotional temper tantrums that Rogue has.
Yeah.
But also they do a good job of explaining why she was a villain, right? She is a deeply emotional person who's only now learning to get a handle on those emotions.
Yeah. She's ready to die in the danger room because she's so just mixed up about what's going on inside of her.
And so it makes sense if she was trying to prove herself to Mystique, if she felt unworthy of being Mystique's daughter, that she would kill all the Avengers, try to kill all the Avengers just to prove herself. If she was mad at Captain Marvel because she fought her and lost, that she would overdo it when she fought her again. It makes sense that she would obsessively chase down Dazzler and fight her for a full year, right? Like
what?
Whoops. Storm wanders off only to find Kitty in her room packing a suitcase. She's off to visit her parents, who she hasn't seen in quite some time. She's also considering not coming back. Storm gives her a big hug and encourages her to fight through the pain.
That's rough.
It's to be continued in the Kitty Pryde and Wolverine miniseries. That evening, Peter is surprised when he enters his room to find Wolverine sitting in the dark, smoking cigs, and waiting for him, just blasting darts.
He's so fucking cool.
They're going to the city for a little chat about his behavior, and Logan makes it clear that he's not giving Peter a choice. Kurt sees them leaving, and knowing what it's about, bamps in the car to join them as they drive off. He's like, "Hey, guys, wait!"
Boys trip.
He like,
Guys, wait, boys trip.
he like poofs on top of the car. He's like, hey, you can't leave without me. And then poofs inside. He's like, don't worry. You don't have to open the door. I'll just teleport inside.
It's also the subtext here is that he is worried that Wolverine's actually going to kill Colossus.
Yes. Yeah.
It's very, man, Wolverine's so fucking cool.
It's nice. Yeah.
First of all, he was like, okay, I got to talk to Peter. He's hurt my friend Kitty. Let me approach this the right way. I'll sit in his bedroom in the dark, smoking and drinking until he shows up.
Then I'll hand him his jacket and say, we're going.
We're going. You don't have a choice. He says, I don't recall giving you a choice. Also, he's dressed like a frontiersman. He's got like this big duster on. He's wearing like a cowboy hat with feathers sticking out of it. God damn.
He rolls. This is the era where Wolverine becomes Wolverine, and it's so good.
Yeah.
We got another brief and actual interlude, though he doesn't call it an interlude this time.
But it is one.
In Dallas, where Val Cooper and Raven Darkholme, two high-ranking government officials, although the latter is secretly Mystique, are discussing how Senator Kelly's anti-mutant bill, passable or not, stirred up the hornet's nest they needed. Their next step is to develop as many mutant assets as possible before anyone else does. Hopefully, a man named Forge will be able to help them.
Wow. I did not know this is how Forge gets introduced.
Yeah. In a dive bar in the West Village of Manhattan, a very fashionable Logan and Kurt try to help Peter understand where he fucked up.
They're also fucking fashionable.
They're dressed so well.
Okay. Neither of us could pull off Wolverine's look here. Again, it's the frontiers. It turns out under the duster, he was just wearing a tight black V-neck t-shirt. Neither of us are doing that. But Kurt, I think I could pull that look off. And Peter, I think you could pull that look off.
Kurt's wearing like Steve Zissou.
Yeah, he's got like the thick wool beanie. He's trying to obscure his look a little bit so that nobody in this dingy dive bar can tell that he's blue.
This is me and you at a bar with who? Who's our third heat?
Who's our bulkiest, hairiest friend?
Probably Wolverine. So they're asking Peter, is he sure what he felt for Zaji was love? Right before they left, Peter was talking about marrying Kitty until he found he had some competition in Doug Ramsey. As soon as he saw some adversity in his commitment to Kitty, he dropped it for a woman he knew for 5 minutes. Before Logan can really drop the emotional hammer on Peter, though, he recognizes a familiar, threatening scent in the bar. Without mentioning it, he grabs Peter by the arm and tells them it's time to leave now. Peter, a bit tipsy, objects and accidentally spills his drink on a large red-haired man having a very intimate conversation with a slender black-haired woman.
He's clearly about to get lucky.
Did you know who either of these people were?
I knew who the red-haired man was because he's on the cover.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Oh, right. I guess it does show. Okay. Yeah, good point. The red-headed man, enraged, pushes Peter straight through the bar's wall. And Peter marches back in, steeled up and swinging. Kurt runs in to stop Peter from killing someone, but Logan pulls him back, smiles, and lights a cigarette. Peter's about to learn the lesson that Logan was going to teach him anyway.
He's so cool.
Meanwhile, it seems that the slender, dark-haired woman has started chatting with another man, only making the red-haired man angrier. He and Colossus exchange a few punches before the other man cries that he's sick of being hassled by the X-Men and picks up the entire bar.
Like the physical structure that is the bar.
And he slams it down on top of Peter.
Oof.
But after only a moment, Peter pops out from the rubble and the fight resumes. Kurt wants to at least step in before the bar collapses, but Logan knows there's no stopping this now. That's Juggernaut, he explains. And it's time for Peter to learn some humility. Logan will pay the damage himself if insurance doesn't cover it. Juggernaut gets the advantage on Peter, and to end the fight, pulls a load-bearing wall down on top of him. As he dusts himself off, he notices Logan and Kurt in the corner, markedly not looking for a fight. He tosses them a wad of cash for the damages he's done and tells them to tell Colossus he's got guts and throws a mean punch when he wakes up. Fucking cool.
Fuck yeah, dude. Just
like
there's just the chat between, like, imagining the icy stare between Juggernaut and Wolverine across a collapsed bar, and Juggernaut being like, "You want some too?" And Wolverine being like, "No, man.
Nope."
Fuck.
This thing that Wolverine has done, we've seen him do a couple times now, where somebody's like, "You want to try me, Wolverine?" And he's like, "Nope." Because he knows when to fight.
Yes. It's very much like Juggernaut's here, but he was about to get lucky. He was picking up girls at the bar. He wasn't here to start a fight. Matt, I know you love the guy, but I'm going to need you to stop using that term.
Logan helps dig Peter out of the rubble as he explains the lesson. X-Men do anything for each other, and this is what happens when they don't. Peter didn't consider Kitty in his breakup. He just talked at her and had no interest in hearing her thoughts or feelings on it. Every reason he gave for falling in love with Izagi was a quality that Kitty also had, including, most importantly, saving his life. Kitty was ready to marry Caliban and spend the rest of her life with the Morlocks to save Peter, and he's never even acknowledged that. He just went off to space and, out of fear, found a reason to leave the complications of a relationship with Kitty behind. If he wants to end things, that's his choice. But he owes her way more than what he gave her. That's what I fucking love about this. It's not that he broke up with her. It's not like, I'm going to kick your ass because you broke up with Kitty. It's you weren't... Look, if you're going to date somebody that's so much younger than you, fucking fine. Whatever. You have to be extra responsible about it. And you were not. You were thoughtless about it the whole way through.
Yeah.
Dan Savage has this thing called the campsite rule. Leave a partner the same or better condition than you met them.
That's pretty good.
And that falls under a much bigger scrutiny when it's age gap relationships, even if it's not an illegal and immoral one like this one, right? If you're 40 and you're dating a 27-year-old, right, it's the same thing. Like, you have to be very careful that you have both eyes open and you're considering what this means to this person versus what it means to you. And I think what Colossus did is not that. What it meant to Kitty was not what it meant to Colossus from the very beginning.
Yeah. There's in two very different phases of their lives, and they are going to interpret a relationship differently because of that.
She was willing to give her life for him. And he was only willing to give his life for her as much as he was anybody, which is like,
yeah.
He does for anybody. he would do for me and you, even as we are talking shit on him right now. Anyway, Kurt and Logan leave Peter to clean himself up among the rubble, and as they walk down the street, the panels dip into an alleyway they pass by, where the dark-haired woman from earlier is cradling the bearded man she found comfort in earlier. Only he's dead. The life force has been sucked out of him. And the woman reveals herself to be Selene. She's back.
She's back.
Whoa!
Go now.
Uh-oh. 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 Uh-oh.
This must have been cool being like a year removed from when she last appeared in the New Mutants.
Yeah.
Rather than being like 2 months ago when we first met her.
Could you imagine, though, like a lot of this stuff, reading the X-Men and not New Mutants, or vice versa? You just have no idea what the fuck is happening ever.
Yeah. Okay, your name's Selene. So is my grandmother's. I loved this.
It was
just
so
an
good.
issue about being friends.
Yeah.
There's Kitty and Aurora strengthen their relationship. Kitty and Ileana strengthen their relationship.
Yeah.
Peter, Kurt, and Logan all strengthen their relationships. They even have a friendly fight with one of their enemies.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. The X-Men are friends.
Apparently, Juggernaut just came from, and it's fun because we haven't seen Juggernaut in like 3-4 years, right?
Yeah.
And maybe more. Holy shit. We haven't seen him since okay. Remember Juggernaut and Black Tom, they didn't fight the X-Men. They hired Arcade to kill the X-Men.
That's right. That's when we last saw him.
That sucks. And that was 1979.
Oh, jeez.
And then he was in 2 Spider-Woman issues and 2 Amazing Spider-Man issues.
Right. We saw him in, it was like a team up or something where he kept getting released from the Sidorak dimension and then sucked back into it.
That was in the Spider-Woman. I think that was in Spider-Woman.
Yes. Yeah. That's what it was.
And then we didn't read this Spider-Man.
Who?
And the Juggernaut, the Spider-Man issue is the famous one where he's just stomping through New York and Spider-Man can't stop him.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just disappeared. He
After
does that
in
like all-timer issue and then
2 years goes by and he's gone. And now he's here. And now he's just drinking at a bar trying to fuck Selene.
When's the last time he was actually up to something dastardly?
When he hired Arcade in 1979.
I guess.
The last time he started throwing punches at people to be a bad guy was in X-Men 103. So like 1977.
Crazy
Wild
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's back.
Me too. I'm interested to see some more Juggernaut.
What if we just move right on to the next issue, Matt?
Is Juggernaut in it?
No, he's not.
Fuck. Then
but we're better for it.
All right, that's fine.
Uncanny X-Men number 184, the past of future days.
He's already jumping the shark. No, it's going to be a good issue, but what a bad title.
Yeah. Chris Claremont, writer, John Romita Jr. and Dan Green, artists. Glynis Ween, colorist, Tom Orzechowski, letterer, Ann Nocenti, editor, and Jason Schitt, editor-in-chief. Release date, May 8th, 1984. Cover date, August 1984. Dallas, Texas. Dr. Valerie Cooper and Raven Darkholm ascend to the top floors of Eagle Plaza, where a man named Forge lives and works.
Oh.
Just as they're walking into his 5-story penthouse, marveling at the holographic interior, a man named Naze is storming out of it. First, Naze is furious that Forge will not step up to fulfill his sacred duty to fix the ancient patterns of order. Yet Forge simply denies that this is his destiny or his responsibility. Second, the penthouse itself is like a Danger Room-style hologram that replicates environments like they were real. In this moment, just above the canopy of a beautiful forest with mountains looming overhead and a falcon flying around.
Aw.
Third, Forge himself appears, a fit Native American man with a small Clark Gable mustache, extremely short shorts, and a robotic right leg.
He is obviously Chris Claremont's introducing a Native American character, so he is arguing with his former
tribal leader
about the spiritual matters of magic, which he is the only one who can set them right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He's the chosen one for a Native American race and is shirking his responsibilities because it's hooey.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is certainly fit He is like fetish content fit. This is
it
an
is
absurdly jacked man.
It is a horny picture.
Yeah. Forge hand waves Naze's outburst as tribal business and leads the two women to his lab. The Department of Defense apparently turned to Forge after Tony Stark gave up inventing weaponry for them. Hired to deal with some dire wraith stuff, Forge was unable to duplicate Rom's weapons, but nevertheless made two devices that work similarly. Rom Space Knight mentioned.
Rom Space Knight.
Come on, man.
Well, okay. At this moment, there's a tie-in with the Wraith War that's happening in Rom, and I don't know, it crosses over in a couple different. We're gonna have to talk more about it in a later episode.
So he invents two Rom-like devices. The first is a gun that can neutralize the power of any super being, including mutants.
Okay.
You don't know that. Superpowers come from all sorts of places.
Yeah.
Second, a detector that can distinguish baseline humans from aliens and mutants.
So, Cerebro.
So, yeah.
He just made Cerebro
again. When he jokes about a mutant in the room, Raven tenses, thinking her identity as Mystique has been uncovered. But Forge reveals that the mutant is himself.
What do you think Valerie Cooper is thinking at that moment?
I mean, she doesn't know Forge, so I thought it was clear that he saw that Mystique also read as a mutant and was like, "Oh, this is information I'll keep to myself for now."
Okay, so he knows.
He knows, and I think Val Cooper is just clueless. I think she's sitting there like, "Okay, this guy's got jokes, I guess."
But before he laughs, when is she like, "Wait, is Raven a mutant? Wait, am I a mutant?" Like, what do you think she's thinking?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That's a panic moment for her, but
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know Val Cooper well enough yet. Like,
right, yeah,
I know she's gonna play a big part, but we've only seen her in passing and mutants so far.
We also don't know what Forge's mutant power is. He just says he is one, and he doesn't explain what his power is.
So at this moment, Mystique is like, before she realizes that Forge is joking, she's like, "Okay, I guess I have to kill everyone in this room if my secret is compromised." How many fucking problems would she have solved right there? How many future issues of X-Men
and Forge were dead? I like Forge, though, just to say, I kind of like Val Cooper, but Val Cooper is a shit, and Forge fucks things up all the time, but by accident.
I like Forge. I don't like this technology he's working on.
Me neither.
Seems bad.
Seems like it's going to have some consequences for somebody we know.
In New York City.
Ooh, the Windy City.
A tired-looking girl with short-cropped red hair watches through a closed store window the X-Men's battle with the dragon in Japan on the news. I thought for a moment this was Rain. I thought, just because of the short, like, sponge top red hair.
And were you thinking like, "Oh, what's happened to Wolf?
What the fuck are you doing here?
How did she get here?"
The anchor touches on the recent anti-mutant hysteria and the Mutant Affairs Control Act. The girl seems to recognize all the X-Men except for Storm's new look, but panics at the name of the bill when the TV suddenly turns off. She side scans the street to make sure it's deserted and then uses her telekinesis to turn the televisions back on.
What?
But she missed the end of the broadcast.
You're telling me this is a red-haired girl who has telepathy and telekinesis?
Yeah.
All right.
Dark Phoenix 2, baby. It's time. She reveals that she's from the future and was surprised when Ileana answered the door at the X Mansion yesterday. Ileana looked around 15, but Ileana was 15 when she died.
What?
In the future. A future where Robert Kelly was assassinated and the Mutant Control Act was passed.
Huh. Sounds kind of familiar, but I'm still not following.
Behind the girl, following on the foggy street, is Selene, who has never sensed a living being so powerful.
Well, yeah, this is Jean Grey, the Phoenix.
Instead of draining her life, Selene hopes to make this girl her heir. Surprised by a speeding fire truck, the girl gets distracted, and Selene attempts to grab her from a dark alley, but she sets off a telekinetic burst and sprints away into a disco. Soon, however, her psi shields fail as all the thoughts of the crowded disco invade her head. A bouncer picks her up to throw her out, but a handsome-ass man named Nick Damiano steps in.
Nick Damiano is here.
He's a handsome ass. He's the owner of the club, and he's sympathetic to the girl's fears that some kind of energy vampire tried to grab her in the alley. So he takes her back to his penthouse apartment.
A lot of penthouse apartments in this issue, in this episode.
I think this guy has some ulterior motives. This girl tells him her name. Rachel.
Jean Grey. What?
Rachel.
What?
I know. Nick's kindness reminds Rachel of Franklin. Do we all realize who this is yet?
Okay. All right, I'll stop.
And her mind scans reveal that the dude really has no ulterior motives. He gives her a glass of orange juice and sends her to his hot tub to relax.
But no ulterior motives.
She's jittery around him still because in her younger days, humans hunted mutants and threw them into concentration camps. Still, she allows herself to relax into the hot tub. Soon, though, she grows uneasy as she can't sense Nick's thoughts anymore. She throws on a robe and walks out, only to see a candlelit dinner with Nick sitting in a chair. She goes up to touch him and finds a desiccated corpse in his seat. The rug on the floor suddenly lifts up and wraps around her, and Selene steps out from the darkness.
Nick Damiano is gone!
There goes that handsome ass. Rachel does her best to fight back, the apartment becoming destroyed and aflame in the process, but her psi shields give out once again. Selene begins sucking the energy from her, though she refuses to give in. At that moment, Charles Xavier's voice pops into her head. Then his form appears in front of her. He sensed two incredibly powerful mutants on Cerebro and sent the X-Men to investigate.
He hasn't done this in a while.
We're doing this again? Yeah. I guess they're bored after Secret Wars. On cue, Nightcrawler, Colossus, and Rogue burst through the door. The X-Men charge forward to stop Selene, but Nightcrawler gets there first, teleporting in front of the woman as she drags Rachel through the flames. Rogue tackles Selene and feels her hand on her throat, skin to skin. But instead of absorbing her powers, Selene is taking Rogue's life force.
It's like that Family Guy bit where the guy's in jail and he stabs himself with his shiv, and he's like, "Oh my God, is that what I've been doing to people?"
Oh, right.
I belong
Rogue
here.
is like, this felt awful.
I'm
Is this
sorry
what
to-
it feels like?
I'm sorry to reference a Family Guy bit, but that's maybe like one of their 4 good jokes they ever had.
That's your one. Never do it again. Never
Also-
reference that show again.
New Colossus costume.
Oh, right. He's got like this red singlet. It's
Yeah,
like a singlet.
like a wrestling singlet. It's red.
It's very strange.
It's
But it's new.
yeah.
This is where we get back into like, oh, right. Selene has every power. So she's psychic. She's an energy vampire. She can manipulate all inorganic matter around her. And now she's also able to absorb somebody's powers.
Yeah.
Xavier's astral form appears between the two of them, and he mind blasts Selene, causing her to leap away into the flames. The X-Men grab Rachel and leap from the building while Storm rushes in to put out the flames. Shortly after, they gather on the street. Selene is gone, leaving no trace, psychic or otherwise. And Rachel is shocked to see that the woman she saw on TV earlier really was Storm, and that Professor X can walk. With this, she collapses on the ground. Great. Another, just like Kitty, she sees Storm with a new haircut and fucking passes out. No,
This can't be my Storm. My Storm never had a haircut.
She collapses on the ground. She's clearly gone to the wrong past. Her world is doomed.
Again, pretty dramatic response to Storm having a haircut. But but Rachel Summers is here.
Rachel Summers.
She's here.
So I'll be honest, Rachel Summers is somebody that, like, the only comics I've read her in, she's a regular. She's just connect a lot of dots to figure out who Rachel Summers is, where she comes from. And it seems like I'm about to get some of that story.
This is the beginning of Rachel.
One very funny moment from this issue, and this gets me in every forum every time when it happens in a comic, but Selene sees Professor Xavier appear between her and Rachel and goes, "A ghost!" Ah! It's so... You're psychic yourself. Do you not understand what's going on here?
That's so funny.
Wolfman.
All right, Pat, we're going to hop back in time a little bit. Not far.
Oh,
not very far.
Okay.
Just like 7 months to September.
7 months?
To September 27th, 1983.
Huh.
Don't worry. The cover date's December 1983. So that's only 6 months.
Okay. Yeah, that's much closer. Wait, Matt.
Huh.
Isn't that Assistant Editors Month?
I don't know. It
is.
Okay, then yes.
That's why this one's so wacky.
It is wacky, and I don't think I like it. But let's see. Uncanny X-Men Annual number 7 is what we're reading today. It's called Scavenger Hunt.
Ooh.
It's, oh God, this is going to be so much. All right. Plot and script by Christopher Claremont. Pencils by Michael Golden.
Doesn't seem so bad.
Pages 28 to 32 penciled by Brett Blevins. Inks by pages 1 to 2 Michael Golden. Pages 3 to 7 Tom Mandrake. Pages 8 to 11 Bob Wyachek. Pages 12 and 13 and 16 Terry Austin. Page 14, 15, 17, 18, 19 Brett Breeding. Page 20 to 23 Tom Mandrake. Page 24 Wild Bill Anderson. Page 25 to 27 Joe the Rube Rubenstein. Page 28 Steve Lealoha. Page 29 Sam De La Rosa. Page 30 and 31 The Rube again. Page 32 Big Al Milgram. Page 33 to 37 Brett Blevins. And page 38 and 39 Terry Austin. Fuck.
And don't forget, you're missing a couple of credits down at the bottom there.
Yeah, okay. So Tom Morzakowski was the letterer. Mike Higgins did lettering on pages 31 and 32. Glynis Ween did the coloring, and that's all we get. So the X-Men are playing baseball.
Hey.
The end. So what did you think of this episode, Pat? No, all right.
It's great. Well, I love baseball.
The X-Men are playing baseball. It's Logan, Kurt, and Rogue versus literally everyone else, including Lilandra, who is still, we're a little back in time.
Lilandra, go home. There is a galactic war being waged in your name.
Remember we used to have to say that every episode?
Yes. And now she's playing baseball.
And she's got a New York Yankees shirt on. Jersey.
Yeah. That's funny. She's she's jumping on the bandwagon.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Peter cracks a home run ball so high that everyone thinks it's gone to orbit until it starts crashing back down to the ground. Or does it? No, as it gets closer, it's clearly a spaceship. You can tell fucking...
It takes them so long to realize.
I know, yeah. You would be able to tell immediately. All right. It's a spaceship. It's crashing back down at them. Everyone flees for cover, but the ship stops its descent just above the mansion, and out scrolls Galactus!
Whoa.
But he's purple and green for some reason, which nobody notices. Why is there this fucking thing in comic books? It happens all the time, where there's a shapeshifter who cannot change their color palette, and nobody ever notices.
nobody ever, like, it was when Plastic Man becomes a household object colored
Like
with the
Plastic
exact
Man.
scheme of Plastic Man. And
Nobody's
with
ever
his little
like,
logo hiding somewhere.
yeah, nobody's ever like, oh, this is Plastic Man. It's clearly
Now-
Plastic Man.
I didn't pick up that this version of Galactus was green and purple for a reason. We've seen miscolored Galactus left and right.
Oh, I get you. I come in peace, he says, claiming he only needs to take their house for an urgent matter. But as Xavier tries to probe his mind, he senses another presence nearby, one that makes him go all funky when he tries to probe it.
He does go all funky.
He goes wildly funky. This sends the X-Men into attack mode despite Galactus' warning. Galactus, having no time for this, simply steals the entire mansion and disappears. And I'm going to say, Michael Golden is a good artist, but large chunks of this comic are, especially without the dialogue, are indecipherable.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It is hard to follow what's actually happening here. To be clear, the recounting of the events that Matt's reading through here are the best I could do to interpret what's happening panel to panel.
When you are reading this comic, it is very scattershot, and it's like, I don't know what the fuck just occurred. And there's a lot that's just implied by the dialogue that you don't see on page.
The whole idea behind Assistant Editors Month was that the actual editors were all off at comic book conventions. And there was like a month where it was up to the assistant editors to get things done. And for the most part, you're not going to notice it except for the fact that they're like
Wackier
cheekily
stories,
plugging in, wackier things in their stories. In this case, it seems like maybe they could have used a more experienced editor to say, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, none of this is legible. Or intelligible. The X-Men, looking for their home, track the telepathic signatures all the way to a room on the SHIELD helicarrier. Oh, we're back here. And it looks way different than it did.
It does. Everybody's got a different interpretation.
Mm-hmm. Kitty and Kurt burst in, only to find Nick Fury making sweet, passionate love to La Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Huh.
You okay?
Yeah.
Oh, they call her Allegro here.
They call her
too.
Allegro here too. Yeah. Let me make sure I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah,
Contessa Valentina.
It's Allegra. It's Allegra.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Allegra.
Again, we need an editor.
We need some real editors in this place.
Maybe this is a different woman. Nick Fury just has a type.
The awkward moment is interrupted when a green snake-like creature pops up and steals Nick Fury's eye patch, transforms into a mannequin, and flies out the window. Again, you would not know that's what happened unless...
Yes, it's my best guess.
Unless... Also, there's like... He's like, didn't you have a rose? And she's like, that's not what matters here. And then all of a sudden, it just... Something off-panel turns into a snake.
Yeah. And snake is a liberal interpretation of what it's supposed to be.
Yes. Anyway, embarrassed, Kurt and Kitty get the heck out of there. They next follow the energy signatures all the way to the Savage Land, where they're met by Kazar, who's going by Kevin now. Well, I think Shanna always called him Kevin because that's his name.
I don't know. I'm not following Kazar. But they're calling him Kevin here. It's very funny.
Just Shanna is.
I am Kevin.
Zabu, the saber-toothed tiger, has been stolen. Rogue suggests what she knows is a silly idea. What if this is some sort of cosmic scavenger hunt? No time for that theory now, though. Next up is Avengers Mansion, where Colossus and Rogue fight She-Hulk and Iron Man for a bit, and discover that all the Wasp's costumes have been stolen. Again, it cuts to like security footage of the Fantasticar with a pile of stuff on it. And then they say, Colossus and Rogue are out there. And it's like, no, they're not. I don't see them. It's so... yeah.
And then somebody just says, that's all the Wasps costumes. They've been stolen.
Then across town to Bleecker Street, where the iconic window seal of Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum is also stolen. Then over to the Hellfire Club, where they find Emma Frost resting peacefully in a coma. This is...
yeah, remember? She was in a coma.
Yeah, coma Emma Frost.
Very sad.
Wolverine is the first to notice that the green and purple flowers adorning her aren't real. And as soon as he says it out loud, the flowers morph into a green and purple squirt gun and then into a green and purple balloon.
What?
Sebastian Shaw appears to figure out what the heck is going on down here, and as he's distracted by the X-Men, this sentient balloon steals the Black Queen's outfit from a mannequin, morphs into a green and purple rocket, and takes off claiming he's sure he'll win the competition with all these great prizes.
This part gets needlessly serious, where Sebastian Shaw is like, you haven't seen the last of me, you cursed X-Men. Like he's getting really mad.
Still in Manhattan, we see Marvel editors Mark Grunwald, Elliot Brown, and Mike Carlin, and receptionist Darlene Coyle going about their business in the Marvel offices when a green and purple creature rides in on a saber-toothed tiger and tackles them. The X-Men... yes.
The creature is
ghost.
It's like a miniature Ghost Rider. Yeah. It's cute.
The X-Men follow soon after, and the Marvel bullpen is torn up in a whirlwind of mutant activity. The creature pops in and out of offices looking for Stan Lee as the X-Men chase him, eventually tackling him and confronting him in the printing area. It's why everybody's like, Stan Lee's in Hollywood, man.
Yeah. There's also there's a Jim Stupid that this character interrupts, and he is suspiciously handsome in this rendering here. And I'm wondering if that was an editorial mandate. Can you make me look like I'm 25?
Big muscles. Big muscles.
And make the person I'm talking to old.
All right. This guy introduces himself as the Impossible Man. From old Fantastic Four issues. He's the Mr. Mxyzptlk of...
yeah.
He doesn't understand why everyone's so mad. He's just playing a game. See, his planet was consumed by Galactus, and the survivors were looking to pick a new leader since they had always been a hive mind before. Everyone just voted for themselves.
Okay.
What?
So they held an election. So they've always been a hive mind. All the survivors of their planet being eaten were like, well, we got to pick a new leader. Let's all vote. And each one only voted for themselves because they're only used to being a hive mind.
Yeah.
That's clever.
It's cute.
It's not like a laugh out loud joke, but
none of this is.
I thought about it.
Everyone just voted for themselves. So they decided that they would choose a leader by having a galactic scavenger hunt. Impy's chosen planet was Earth, and as an admirer of Earth's super people, started collecting the most iconic stuff he could. Just then, the inhabitants of hundreds of other planets' warriors arrive, all of whom have had valuable things stolen from their planets by other members of Impy's race, demanding justice. Lalandra has a solution. She'll judge the scavenger hunt. There's a war happening!
Go home!
Then everybody's belongings will be returned. The end.
Problem solved.
In an epilogue, we see that the Impossible Man didn't win the contest, as he's consoled by Kitty and Ileana poolside. He turns into Magnum PI to ask for a bite of their ice cream, and then into Garfield to eat it. The end. And they both do like dances.
They're doing like go-go dance poses.
It's very weird.
It's super strange. I loved the end of this, where that last panel where they're all just like shrugging. It's like the end of what was the Sock It To Me show? Sock It To Me. You know,
I know the phrase, but I don't know what show it is.
It was that sort of spirit.
Oh man, it's not very good. This was not. I mean, it
Matt,
was a silly comic.
It's clearly supposed to be like a farce, and
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. It's just not.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
It's like, exactly. It's not playful enough. And again, I know we've talked about this before. We have a bias towards comics with continuity in them because of what we do here. But if we're reading a comic just for it to be a comic, like, I want it to be entertaining and funny and interesting and have concepts that are like, and this just didn't. It just, to me, it is the most basic interpretation of what it says on the box.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what about a story where the Impossible Man is stealing a bunch of Marvel artifacts, and the X-Men have to chase him around, and like, that's we don't get anything deeper or funnier or more interesting.
I mean,
than
so
that.
To me, this is Jim Stupid's synergy initiative, right? Where it's like, hey, you're going to put out an annual. Can you please just stuff as many Marvel Universe characters in there as possible? So they have a reason to.
Okay.
Chris Claremont, we know, is just not a funny guy. And that's okay. He does good work. This is him trying to put something in the pages of Mad Magazine, and it's not his strength.
Yeah, they should have just gotten like a cartoon, like the writer for a cartoon, like whoever was writing for Hanna-Barbera at the time. Just bring them here.
I think guest writers should be consistent across annuals. I think annuals should always, and a lot of times they do. It's not like their regular monthly writer necessarily who's writing the annual, but
because even if it's bad but not Claremont, like, that would be more fun, I think.
Yes, exactly. Somebody would be it would just be a little looser. This was very very rigid for such a silly, corny story.
Yes. Yeah. And even if it was this is what I'm saying, even if it was rigid, but it was like Steve Gerber who wrote it, well, he wouldn't be rigid, but like Roy Thomas, I don't know, he wasn't in the company anymore. He sucks.
Also, we liked Roy Thomas by the end.
That's true. If it was like, I don't know, Terry Austin who wrote this, at least we'd be able to be like, isn't it weird how Terry Austin writes?
Yes.
The way that we can with Bill Mantlo. But
now we just have to be like, yeah, he also does this sometimes.
Yeah, so I think it also, we read 2 really bad comic books back to back, and then we read 4 fucking unbelievably good issues of X-Men, and then we had to read this. So
he's got an eye out, stuff that you could buy out. If you had a time machine that you would like to try out, it's at Deals and Steals.
Whoa!
Oh, Matt, maybe I can
Here
bring
we are.
the mood back up with Pat's Steals and Deals. Would you believe, Matt, for only $1.98, that's less than $2.
in 1984 money, so it's actually
probably around $7. Still a great price for a sun-powered airship, UFO Solar.
What?
I'll read the copy in a second, Matt, but looking at this, I am almost sure that this is the same thing that created the Balloon Boy phenomenon, if you remember that.
Yes, I remember Balloon Boy.
This is that device.
Sun-powered airship, UFO Solar. Okay, all right. I found it. It is a big condom-looking... It's a trash bag.
Yes, but one that flies.
Yeah, it's a flying trash bag, I guess.
It's so essentially because of the reflective material around it. My understanding is that it heats up
right.
the air inside, which causes it to rise, right? And then in 2009, somebody made their own just like this, sent it up, and then called the authorities and said, "Help! My son is trapped in there," even though he was not. Balloon Boy in a early social media universe was just a moment in time. I hope you folks are able to remember that. But
all right, so I did find it.
Ooh, you found it on eBay?
Mm-hmm. Here are the warnings. Number 1, do not play in strong wind.
Okay.
Number 2, keep away from power constructions, trees, etc.
Oh no.
Number 3, if released, it could reach an ultimateness about 30,000 feet.
Wow.
Please put on gloves when playing, or it might hurt finger.
Pretty hot. Yeah.
Keep away from fire.
Flammable. Okay.
Do not put on head.
You'll suffocate.
Keep the string away from children.
They could choke.
In case of leaks, repair it with glued tape.
That's not a safety thing.
Do not release in air. Call news anchor and tell them your son is trapped in it.
That one guy violated that very rule.
Yeah, UFO Solar.
Okay, let me read you some of this copy because it gets
please.
wild. Giant airship 10 feet long, powered by the sun, nothing else to buy. Expose the airship to the sun and it rises to tremendous altitudes. You control height with special flying cable included.
That's just the string on a... Okay.
If cut loose, airship can reach 30,000 feet. So on the package, that's a warning. In the ad copy, it's an asset.
Oh, yeah.
Tested in Wisconsin. I watched an eagle attack the airship at 2,000 feet while it was still climbing. Guaranteed.
What the fuck? Why does that say that in the ad?
Who are you? Who are you?
Who are you? Is that Chris Claremont?
You have the fun. Let the sun do the work. Return for refund in 30 days if not pleased. Only $1.98 plus 97 cents postage and handling. Oh my goodness. 2 for $5, by the way, 5 for 10 if you want to get
a fleet. We can buy a fleet of these.
A fleet of balloon boys.
Help! My 10 sons are trapped in these things.
Okay, so time inevitably marches on. The value of the American dollar continues to drop. So today, a dollar in 1984 is worth about $3.13. So if we take that and multiply it by the $1.98 that this costs, we get $6.20 for one. Now,
oh my god, yeah,
you could pay $31.30 and have 10. Keep that in mind.
Or you could buy it on eBay for $65.
$65? Are you kidding?
Well, there's two. I found two. One has only $25, but it doesn't have the string.
Oh no, that would interfere with air traffic.
The other one and that one's made in Taiwan. The $65 one is sealed and is made in Italy.
Ooh, still sealed. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I'm not gonna buy this. Nope. No deal. But you'll get them next time.
He's got an eye out, stuff that you could buy out. If you had a time machine that you would like to try out, it's at Deals and Steal.
Oh boy, Matt.
Yeah.
Is there anything left to do?
Well, you know what I want to do is I want to tell people to go to our Patreon you can follow the link in our show notes, or you can go to patreon.com/mutantmenace. And if you have a couple bucks, kick them our way, or you can subscribe for free and then you'll get our reading list. You can also, the other ways that you can support us if you don't want to do so with monies, that's fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
We're happy for you to follow us on Instagram or join our Discord, or just, the thing that would help the most right now, even more than money maybe, is just spreading the word, getting other people to learn about this podcast and check it out.
Yeah. Tell people we've been putting little video clips up online. So if you like those, if you react to those in any way, it's super helpful.
Share them more. That's the number one way. Again,
yeah. But if you have a very curated feed, totally understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we don't fit your aesthetic, fine.
I get it.
Fine.
You're a little embarrassed about us. It's fine.
You're a little embarrassed. It's whatever.
Who would want to admit that they
I don't
listen
care,
to old Pat Reber,
I don't care, and I'll never care, in fact.
But I forget where we were going with that. I would like to remind folks they can also email us, mutantmenacepod@gmail.com, to be featured on Pat's Email Corner. And then I'd like to give a big thank you to Julia Selly for providing the voice of Trish Tilby, and Krills Wilson for providing the music.
Yeah. And then I guess that only leaves us one thing to do.
Truly, Matt, let's close it out the way we close it out every week.
So, yeah, remember, folks, you're on your own, Impy.
That's right, folks. And as always, that sucker was my Sunday punch.